Now, a far more important position to the sustained success of a team is quarterback. And as the Eagles would say, backup quarterback, one of the top 10 to 15 positions on the entire roster. In Cleveland, one of the first orders of business for Kevin Stefanski when he became the head coach in 2020 was to reunite with Case Keenum, who, when with Stefanski in Minnesota, took the team to the NFC Championship. They didn't need Keenum until last night, and Keenum got it done. Let's hear from Stefanski and Case Keenum on his performance in place of Baker Mayfield.
Case fought like he always does. I thought he orchestrated the operation. He took care of the football. And then that was a huge play at the end there, or not at the end, but in the end zone there on fourth down, and, just to make a play, fighting for extra yardage. But he did a great job fighting.
Yes, I felt calm and poised. I think it was a great first drive there. Kevin put together a great first 15, and the offensive line did a great job. We hit the screen, hit the keeper to juice, and then Hoop made obviously a great play on that screen, and then we ran the ball really well, and that kind of broke the seal, broke the ice, and it was kind of like, take a breath. All right, let's play now. And I thought we did enough to win the game. It was great job all around.
Yeah, and it was a great job all around. 21 for 33, 199 yards, and a touchdown. Not spectacular numbers. And look, the game was closer than it should have been. It felt like a bigger margin of victory for the Browns, but the score is what it is, 17-14 Cleveland wins. You mentioned Baker Mayfield. A strange week for him because he admitted to Jay Glazer, and Glazer reported this last night, that he has a fracture at the top of the humerus at the shoulder, and he can't play until that heals, and he's got other damage, the torn labrum. He's had the shoulder dislocate twice now over a 4-week period. But, man, on Tuesday, he sounded like a guy who was determined to play, like it was his birthright to play and his exclusive decision as to whether or not he plays. Last night I heard Troy Aikman at one point say Baker woke up on Wednesday and he knew he couldn't do it. I have a feeling the truth is a little more fuzzy than that. I have a feeling the truth has a lot more to do with someone sitting Baker down and saying, this isn't how it works. You don't get to decide who plays and who doesn't. At some point, we have to do what's best for the team. And they did. And the thing that was best for the team 1 year plus ago was having a good backup in Case Keenum ready to go, who can come in and win a football game for you, as he reminded us all last night, Peter.
Look, I thought that Case Keenum was, in his own way, absolutely fabulous last night. And I'll take you to the last drive of the game, Mike. They get the ball with 5 minutes and 17 seconds left at their own 26. And what was really interesting is that, think about this, Mike. 5 minutes and 17 seconds to go. Denver has all 3 timeouts left, plus the 2-minute warning. Now, what odds would you have given me that the last play of this game on that drive would be Case Keenum kneeling with 23 seconds to go and then the clock running out? To me, that says it all. When I look at what a quarterback does and how a quarterback has played, I want to see exactly what Kevin Stefanski just said. How did he manage the game? And I don't mean the, quote, game manager type of thing. When everybody says, when a guy's not a very good quarterback, oh, did he manage the game? Yeah, this guy managed this game perfectly for the Cleveland Browns. Because, look, he was under a lot of pressure almost all night long. But on that last drive of the game, he takes it 5 minutes and 17 seconds, all the timeouts for Denver, plus the 2-minute warning, and he allows this team to run out the clock at the end of the game. I thought it was really brilliant myself.
That run on 4th and 3 was amazing by him in the third quarter. But, Peter, I want to go to the first play of that final drive because – and Sims and I had a long discussion earlier this week about analytics and where they have their place in football, because the analytics mafia would have us believe that analytics are the end-all, be-all, and there's no other factor, there's no other consideration, and if you even suggest it, you are stupid, you are a moron, you should go to bed without your supper. That's how they act. The first play of that drive was a prime example of how the difference between analytics and actually going out and playing football applies. That first play was a momentum killer. That first play was a pushback by the Browns against the Broncos at a time when they had cut the lead to 3 points, and they get a stop here, they get a short field or a reasonable field. They're in position to force overtime. So they're ready to stop the run. They're ready to slow down Dearness Johnson. And what does Kevin Stefanski do? He calls a play-action pass. And what does Case Keenum do? He flawlessly executes it, rolls out, finds Austin Hooper, gains 8 yards. And that's just one of those gut punches. When you're starting to feel like, hey, we're coming back. We got a shot. We got a window. We got a crack. Here we go. And boom, they come right out like Rocky on Apollo Creed and put a gut punch right to you. That slows, if not wipes out, the momentum that the Broncos have built up. There's no formula for that, Peter. And that was brilliant by Stefanski to trust Keenum and perfect by Keenum to execute it the way he did, because that could have gone off the rails. And the Broncos would have been feeling pretty good. Hey, look at this. It's 2nd and 10, or we sacked him, or whatever, and we think we can get the ball back, and we think we can steal this game. So that's a prime example of how there are certain moments where you've got to assert yourself as a team. And the Browns did it in that moment and pulled the plug on all the momentum the Broncos had built up.
Well, not only that, Mike, but on that particular play at the start of that drive, when you saw the Cleveland formation, it really looked like a running play. And, you know, at the start, and of course you think, okay, kill the clock. That's all you're thinking. But that first play set up the second play, because now it's 2nd and 2. And you figure, well, they're probably going to run, but now who knows? And the second play is Dearness Johnson for 20. And to your point, I think that first snap with a backup quarterback with a really suspect health all over your offensive team, you know, it was logical that your red-hot running back is going to get the ball. So you're right. I thought, look, Kevin Stefanski won a game. He's never going to look back at that game and say, that's one of the greatest games we ever played. But if he's honest with himself, he'll look back at that game and say, that's one of the best play designs I ever had in a game, and it's one of the best called games that I ever had. And you look at it and you say, a win over a 3-4 team now is the best called game and the best design game? Yes, because of what you had to work with. This was not the Cleveland Browns of August 1st. This is the Cleveland Browns with half of their team in the MASH unit. And again, nobody's crying for him because Denver has injuries that were almost as bad or maybe as bad. But it's just what you have to do sometimes in the NFL, and Stefanski handled it very well.
And I think this was a game that if the Browns make the playoffs, there'll be various points they can look back to and say, that game really helped us, that game really helped us. This was a stop-the-bleeding win for the Browns, right? Because they lose last night. They got the Steelers and Bengals coming up. They still play the Ravens twice. They got some challenges. They still may not make the playoffs, frankly, with 3 losses before Halloween. But they don't have 4 losses before Halloween, and that's a potentially huge difference. We still don't know how that's all going to shake out in the wash with 17 games. But if they make the playoffs, last night is a huge reason why, because that easily could have become a loss with the Broncos starting to put you on your heels, and you quickly put them back on their heels with those first 2 plays of the final drive.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.